Hi viewers. So after being a teacher for quite a long time, I just experienced one thing, that students nowadays are not clear about the foundation of English grammar. So as they are not clear about the foundation, they cannot move forward in the grammar portion and they cannot just find their way out in the language paper. So whenever I go to any class, I make sure that I just go to the foundation first and then start with my topic. So before going to any basic grammar, we need to just understand what sentences are. Sentences are the basic foundation of the English grammar. So I have always come in contact with students who are so confused about the sentences, about the types of sentences. They always get confused between sentences and phrases and conjunctions and tenses, everything. So I just want to tell you all that sentences are something which is very important to know. If you are totally sure about the sentences, if you are totally sure about how many types of sentences are there in English grammar, you can frame any statement, any sentence, no matter what, any questions also. So today my topic is about sentences. And sentences are the foundation of English grammar. It allows us to understand what somebody is speaking. It allows us to convey our message to people around. And it is the basic thing that we need to understand what a person is speaking about. So now sentences, the particular definition of a sentence is, sentences are the combination of words. It can be any words, but the main form of a correct sentence is, it should have a meaningful. Sentences are basically combination of words. It can be any words, but the main thing about sentence, it should make sense. If your words are just arranged in an improper way, it doesn't make sense, it doesn't form a sentence. So your sentence should be the combination of words which makes sense. So for example, Rahul football plays well. See, here you can see Rahul football plays well is also a combination of words. Rahul, where Rahul is the subject, plays well is the predicate about what we are talking about the subject, that is Rahul, and plays is the verb. But do you think it makes any sense? It doesn't make any sense. So these are just jumbled words arranged in an improper way, which doesn't make a sentence out of it. So to make a proper sentence, you can just write Rahul plays football well. So here the same Rahul being the subject, and what we are talking about the subject is, he is the one who plays football well. So here we have arranged the subject, the verb, the predicate, the object, everything in a particular way which makes a sense, and that is why it is a sentence or a statement. So that is what the sentence, the main thing of the sentence, it allows us to package information so that we can express ourselves clearly and understand what others have expressed it. As you can see that the words are no longer jumbly arranged, they are arranged in a proper way which makes a sense and which gives us a meaning that Rahul is the one who plays football well. So that is how you need to frame your sentences. So you should be very particular about the verb, about the subject, and you should consider the subject as the main part of a sentence, because about the subject you have to speak a lot. About the subject you have to frame a sentence. So that is why sentences are very important. Types of sentences. So now we will move forward to the types of sentences. As we have got a clear idea about what sentences are, the definition about it, and a particular example about it. So now we will talk about the types of sentences. So in English grammar we have 4 types of sentences. So beginning with first, declarative sentence. So a declarative sentence is a sentence where you are stating a statement. So the fancy word for, or the fancy definition for a declarative sentence is a statement. So it begins with a capital letter and your statement ends with a full stop. So that is what is known as declarative sentence. You are declaring something, you are stating something. That is how it is a declarative sentence as well as a statement. For example, the butter was in the refrigerator yesterday. So here we have begun the sentence, the T capital with the T capital, and we have ended it with a full stop. That is how it is a declarative statement. So here we are talking about a statement. We are stating that the bottle was in the refrigerator yesterday, irrespective of the fact that we are not concerned about the tense of the statement, whether it is in present tense or future time or past tense. So this is the main motive of declarative sentence. We are declaring something. So whenever you get a sentence wherein it is a statement ending with a full stop, always be very confirmed that it is a declarative sentence. Do not get confused with any other kind of sentence that it forms. The second of sentence type is, so as you know, interrogative sentences can be broken down into interrogation. So what do you mean by interrogation? Interrogation is asking question when you are inquiring about something. Interrogation is basically asking question when you are seeking answer from a person, or when your statement seeks answer for something, then that is known as interrogative sentence. It is basically the inquiring part, or wherein you are asking question to someone, that is known as interrogative sentence. The main difference between a declarative sentence and an interrogative sentence is that here in declarative sentence you are stating your feelings or facts or any kind of information that you want to speak to people. But in interrogative sentences you are asking question about any information that you want to know. So be very particular about knowing what an interrogation is and what a statement it is. And the second difference is, would you like to have some coffee? So here you are not stating it, you are asking the person, would that person like to have some coffee or not. So here would is the helping verb. As you know, it is the helping verb or the auxiliary verb which you have put forward from the subject you. So here the word order has changed, the subject is presented after the verb, whereas in declarative sentence we have put the subject before and the verb later. But here in interrogative sentence, that is another difference between interrogative sentence and declarative sentence, is that the verb comes forward and then later the subject follows it. So would you like to have some coffee? Here coffee is the object and you are asking question about it, so that, and it ends with a question mark, so it is known as an interrogative sentence. So if you are framing sentences about when you are converting the, so one important point to note over here is, if you are converting the interrogative sentence into a statement, you can answer with a positive reply or a negative reply. Whereas if you are converting a statement to an interrogative sentence, always remember and note this point, that you have to bring the auxiliary verb or the helping verb to the front, and then you have to present the subject later after the auxiliary verb, and that is how you are going to convert the sentence, the statement, into an interrogative sentence or an interrogation. Up next is our exclamatory sentence. It is the third type of sentence, and it is one of the most important kinds of sentences that we use in our daily basis. An exclamatory sentence is when you are expressing a sudden feeling, sentences which express a sudden fear or enjoyment. Those kind of sentences are called as exclamatory sentences. And how is the exclamatory sentences different from the declarative sentence and interrogative sentence? It is how it ends. It ends with an exclamation mark. So that is the most important thing that you need to consider when you are writing an exclamatory sentence. You have to put one exclamation mark after the sentence, and that is how it is going to make its position as an exclamatory sentence, or else it would be considered as a statement. So, for example, what big eyes you have. So this can also be framed as a statement. It can also be considered as a statement, but here what big eyes you have is focusing on the eyes and the kind of eyes she or he has. So here you have put one exclamation mark because you are expressing something very strongly about the eyes of a person, explaining about the eyes of a person in a tone which is not, which cannot be considered as a statement alone. So that is why it is known as an exclamatory sentence. Another example is, hooray, we have won the match. So you are expressing sudden urge to feel happy about winning the match, and that is why this expression hooray is an exclamatory sentence. It can be framed as an exclamatory sentence because you are expressing something in a way which cannot be stated as a statement alone. So the last thing for today is imperative sentences. This is the last type of sentence. An imperative sentence means when you are pleading or requesting or ordering that person who is the subject, or you can just consider another subject out of it, and then you have to plead or request or order that person. So that kind of sentences, those kind of sentences are known as imperative sentences. See, the main thing about sentences is we use all these sentences in our regular life, in our daily life. But how many times do we consider what kind of sentences we are speaking, whether we are inquiring something, or we are declaring something, or we are expressing something in an intense way which can be claimed as an exclamation, or suddenly pleading something or requesting something. So here in English grammar you get an idea about all kinds of sentences or all kinds of statements that you use in your regular life, in your daily life. So you have now categorized everything in a format wherein you are understanding by yourself what kind of sentences you are forming. So the last thing is about command or imperative sentences, wherein you are requesting, pleading, or ordering something. For example, show me the money. So this can be an order. This can be an order wherein you are asking another person and the person is not mentioned over here. Let me be very clear with you that here the subject is absent. So you have to consider that you is silent over. You show me the money. So here you are asking to this person you, which you have taken into consideration that this can be a subject, because in many imperative sentences the subject are invisible or they are silent. You don't always recognize somebody and you don't always claim to someone to do something or plead something from that person. So show me the money, this can be an imperative sentence wherein you are asking that person or ordering that person to show you the money. Another example can be shut the door. So here you are ordering that person to shut the door. So here you is the invisible subject where you have just omitted this you. So it is it is not compulsory to have a subject out of imperative sentences. You can also omit it, and you can also consider that the subject is invisibly present over here. So if anybody asks you that shut the door, what is the subject over here? Do not get confused. The subject is shut or the door. It is not. You shut the door. Here you is invisible, that you is the subject. You is the subject over here. It can be anything else. She, he, it can be anything else. It can be you, and you is the subject over here. These two are examples of orders. So you can also frame examples like please give me a glass of water. Here you are requesting that person, pleading that person to get you a glass of water. So these two are certain examples for orders. You can also cite some examples for pleadings as well as request, like please get me a glass of water. So here you are pleading to that person, requesting to that person to get you a glass of water. So in many times in your day-to-day life, you might have asked for a glass of water, you might have ordered for a glass of water, you might have requested for a glass of water. So but you need to understand that they also fall under some categories. They fall under imperative sentence category, wherein that person to whom you are speaking, the subject of the person is omitted. So that is what is known as imperative sentences, and in imperative sentences can end with a full stop, and you don't have to consider imperative sentences as any other kind of sentence wherein you have to be particular about question mark or exclamation. So that's all for today. These are certain kind of sentences, and these are the basic things that you need to learn about sentences, how you need to frame your sentences correctly in an appropriate way, which would differentiate it from jumbled words. As I said in the first, that all the words that are arranged together to form a definite meaning to a sentence, they are called as sentences. So if you are a parent and you are wondering on how to teach your kids about the foundation of English grammar, so I really hope that this video helps in giving you an idea to how to start teaching them, how to understand their mindset, and how to begin teaching about English grammar, because it is very important for them to know, because gradually they are going to frame sentences, and if they frame wrong sentences or incorrect sentences or inappropriate sentences without understanding the categorization of the sentences, then they are going to have a lot of problems in future. So that is why, and all the students, and this is also a note to the student as well, those who are not clear about the foundation, I hope this is the last day for your confusion and I have cleared it all in this video. Thank you.